You are all welcome to Fidel Academy. We are going to look at chemistry. Under chemistry part of the chemistry we are going to look at is the practical part of it. Under the practical part of chemistry, we have about three types of practical, three types of it. We have the qualitative, we have the qualitative, we have the quantitative, and we also have the gravimetric. Okay, so under this now, what I'm trying to say is that types of chemistry practical. Chemistry practicals that is being carried out. So under the types of chemistry practical, we have qualitative analysis, we have quantitative analysis, and we also have gravimetric analysis. So on this note, but today as under this, these are part of chemistry that we also look at. This only basically is for identifications of the cations or anions that is present in that particular compound that you want to check. The other quantitative, this has to do with the volume of the volume that is present. But under this has to do with the weight of that particular samples that you are trying to analyze. But on this note today, on this note, we are going to look at qualitative analysis. So on this note, if you are using ammonium chloride, if we want to check, we are going to look at under the analysis, under the test. If we are testing this particular compound, if you are testing it, what you will test on this note is that in the laboratory we use our test tube. Also, on this, if we are testing this on the first part of we are using test tube, you also use a Bunsen burner. Then on this, if you are with test tube and a Bunsen burner, and this is a short sample, then another thing, the chemical we are using on this particular analysis is ammonium chloride. So on this, on that test, we have, you now add your salt. The salt that we are adding is ammonium chloride salt, then plus the test tube. By putting it in the test tube. When you put it in your test tube, your test tube is like this. You have a test tube, and once you put it inside here, which is the source sample. And if you have your Bunsen burner, so what you do is that when you put this source sample, which is this ammonium chloride, if you put the ammonium chloride into your test tube, when you put in your test tube, what you do is that once you put it inside, and you are going to also use your test tube holder. Another thing we need is test tube holder. So you use a test tube holder to hold it. As you are using a test tube holder to hold it, you now bring it to the Bunsen burner where you've already light up your flame. So this is the flame that is coming out, and this is your test tube. So on this note, what you observe is that as you are heating, the heat is going up. This ammonium chloride will settle at this part. The ammonium chloride will settle at this part, which will be settled. You observe that under observation, other observation, you will see a white film, a white vapor. You see a vapor and also a white film or a white film. So this will settle at this particular location. Once it is settled at this point now, what you are observing at this particular moment, you are now seeing that the ammonia is the gas that you are going to observe here. You now see that what is settling at this point is ammonia gas. So under your influence, you now see ammonia. So the salt, the present is ammonia, which that is what you observe at this particular point of during this chemical reaction process. So this indicates that there is presence of what? Ammonia ion. Ions at this point. So on this note, this particular part of qualitative analysis only indicates the presence of that particular samples. It does not indicate the quantity at which this quantity is present at this point. So that is why we say that under qualitative analysis, you only observe the presence of that particular element, but it cannot quantify the quantity of that element and also cannot give you the weight of that particular samples which is already there. So on this note, you can see that if you are carrying out this type of analysis, then it is referred to as qualitative analysis. So on the next part of the chemistry, I'm going to add, if you add water to it, that's maybe the next part. What I'm going to drop is when you add water to it. If you have a child that is into chemistry, that want to go into chemistry, let the child should be joining me, so that when next I drop the next video on this particular class, on this particular compound, as the case going on or as the study continue, you can be able to identify it or work with me. So on this note, we can say that we can now deduce that if, for example, you are in a classroom, you now see that the teacher, you are writing the exam, you now see the test, your observation, and your influence. So on this, we are saying that ammonium chloride plus your test tube. So on this, we now say that you will observe a white, your observation at the end of test tube, you observe there is presence of white film or vapor. White film or vapor, and this indicates the presence of ammonia ions. So do well to subscribe to the channel, so that when next we drop another video on this particular compound, because the next step I'm going to add water to it so that you can observe the level of reactions that can occur. At this point we were using heat. We were using heat with it. So that when you heat this, you heat ammonium chloride and heat. You now observe this, that at the end of the test tube or the end of that part of the test tube, you see a white film or a white vapor, indicating the presence of ammonium chloride, ammonium ions, ammonia ions present. Thank you very much, and you're welcome to the channel. When next I drop the next part of the video, you can go ahead to join me. Thank you so much, and you are welcome to the channel.